Noble Exchange, founder of Nobleman's Apothecary, leather belts, leather hat bands, and wallet ropes. Today's a big day for me. We've been waiting a few months for this, and it's finally here. You guys know what this is. Nick's Handmade boots. Let's see. And it really was a big day because this is a made-to-order Robert. I chose to have it built with an 8-inch high shaft, and I chose the brown waxed flesh. Okay. So I did cut the tape on the box, but I did not open the box. So let's get right to it. Also, this is my second pair of Nicks. So it'll be a fun little comparison. And I have my other pair right here, so we'll do a quick comparison between the two. Slight differences, but as you know with Nicks, the construction is essentially the same type of construction used from one boot to the other. Made in USA, Spokane, Washington. Fancy paper, fancy hang tags. So this little hang tag, it just tells you what not to do as far as care, what not to do as far as break-in, how to care for it, what not to do, and what to expect when you're breaking in a pair of Nicks. Ooh, it's the first time I got a pair of my first pair of Nicks. I never received this, but I saw that other people worked. So I mean, it's nice to finally be a part of the cool kids group. It's leather conditioner. It's leather conditioner. So in a few months or so, I'll use it to recondition. Look at that, guy. Do you see that? So it's brown waxed flesh. I chose the medium 55 last, which is the medium height heel, and the medium arch support. Just look at that double stitch all the way around, stitch down welt. This is my first pair of stitch down welt. Normally I would get a pair of boots that used just the traditional Goodyear welt. That brown wax flesh is gorgeous. Ooh. So I chose the pull tab, the pull loop, and I also chose the rounded collar, just because it was a little bit taller, and with my other pair of Nicks, which is a 6-inch pair, I had just the regular cut top, and it wasn't like painful, but I did have a little bit of discomfort, especially during the first week or two, with just a little bit of discomfort around just ankles. So inside we have false tongues, brown wax flesh false tongues, very cool. And again, I think you guys will like my my first pair of boots, which I'll bring up for you guys to see in a minute. Very similar to this brown wax flesh. Brass hardware, eyelets, and speed hooks. I really like the speed hooks. I never tend to use that top one, just because I never have an issue with anything coming untied. So chose the Vibram, what is it, V100 lug? No, not the lug sole. This is just the V-bar sole. So yeah, chew me apart in the comments. Yeah. I have another pair of boots with these, but it's a pair of Westcos, and they use like a 2-piece sole. So it's just that front, which is nailed down, and then you just have raw leather for the shank area right there. So I'm very interested in learning how the walking experience is. If you're into boots like me, you do notice the difference from one heel style to another. From like a cowboy underslung heel, um, your stride is a lot smoother than with a straight block heel. Um, this is a Cuban heel, so it's underslung just slightly. Um, but from this point to this point, I think that they're pretty, as far as the angle and at that pivot point in your stride. I'm pretty sure that the oh my goodness, logger heel is pretty similar. I have a shorter pair of loggers, just not the same height heel, a lower height heel in my other nicks, and we can also look at that too. Very nice, very nice. If you love nicks, it's because of the amount of leather they use. They don't use a wood shank. I love that bulge right there, that shank bulge. They use oak tanned leather, which is very stiff. And the reason, well, there's a few reasons why they use leather shanks. One of them is because a steel shank could potentially, if you're working in wildland fire environments, there's a good chance you can heat that metal up and it doesn't cool down as quick as leather does. So you can actually kind of burn the bottom of your foot, as well as the rest of the construction of the boot. Also, the leather shank also adds to the break-in, what do you call it, break-in ability, its ability to form to your foot. That arch, everything leather inside and underneath your foot is going to take part in forming to your foot, and that right there is a huge reason why I enjoy nicks so much. Beautiful construction. The stitching is clean. They did a great job. It gets a little close right here, but there's no like really wonky stitches. Nothing really too obvious. Never had an issue with Nix's quality. And plus, I understand handmade products. There's no such thing as perfect, so perfect is subjective. Okay. So the inside. One of the most interesting things I've ever seen, well, the first time I ever experienced it was with my first pair of Nicks, and they actually have the midsole stitched just straight through to the insole, the leather insole, and you can actually see the stitching in there if you look down. So let's check the other pair. All right, Angel, come on. Come on, guys. This pair, a little smushed up in packaging. That's no problem. It's all part of the game. So just more leather goods, leather laces, and I really like those. So I honestly, I thought that the 8-inch shaft would include a taller false tongue, but I guess that's not the case. So, all right, learning things. Stitching also gets pretty close right here in the same section of stitching, the 2 rows. It's just right there on this same corner. It gets a little bit close. It's not touching, and it still looks very, very, fairly uniform. Doesn't look like it just changed direction. It looks like one of the stitches there. Yeah, it looks like just one stitch there that's a little bit different from the rest. I'm not here to tear this thing apart. I'm not here to break the construction down. Just sharing with you guys my unboxing experience. I really love these. This brown wax flesh. I had been eyeing it up for a while, and their website said for the longest time it said that it was on back order. So as soon as it opened back up, I was like, whoa, 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 let me get on these. And I honestly, when I got to that point, I was like, oh, crap. Well, let me hurry up and order something before it goes, they sell back out or whatever. But I was like, hold on a minute. And I started really paying attention to my first pair. I was like, what are some things that I would change from this pair to this pair? So that way, that's the reason I chose the 8-inch tall shaft, and I went with the higher arch support. So, all right, enough of me ranting. Very happy so far with the construction and everything else, but I already kind of had an idea of what to expect receiving something from NYX. So let's do one for one, I guess. Let me show you my other pair, and then we'll continue, and we'll do the comparison. Here we go. Urban Loggers. NYX recently had their 1-year anniversary for these Urban Loggers. This is the natural waxed flesh, much like the brown wax flesh, just a lighter color, obviously. This really is as kick around, as just throw around, kick around, stomp around kind of boot. If you really are looking for a boot that you can always rely on and not fall apart and be very comfortable while still giving a little bit of lower profile, and it actually does lend itself not too bad in a casual setting, as long as you're okay with that Vibram honey lug. So I'm very pleased with these guys. They're, I don't know, 8 months old, 9 months old, maybe more. I should have that information on hand for you guys, but I don't. Anyhow, I chose the moderate heel height and moderate arch support on these, and surprisingly enough, they still have quite a bit more arch support than your average, let's say, Iron Rangers, Red Wing Iron Rangers, Beckmans, your Thorogoods, and what have you. I think it might have to do with that wooden, I'm sorry, oh my goodness. Forgive me, NYX, forgive me. I think it has to do with that oak tanned leather shank that they use. It really does. It creates a type of bulge in there. And it's probably also has to do with that interior lining, leather lining, and the way the vamp stitches down and kind of creeps down in to the bottom. It also adds to the arch support. And so I was actually really surprised at the amount of arch support on here. So me as a more narrow-footed, extremely high-arched person, I appreciate any little bit of arch support that comes with the boot, and especially a boot that doesn't have insoles, like removable insoles. That right there, I love it. Okay. So let's see. So to give you an example of my arch height, I've been to like a Red Wing shoe store, and I went on their digital foot measuring device, and where it gives you an imprint of each foot of you standing there, and my hands literally look like the letter C, or my feet, my footprints literally look like two letter C's, like that, and just my toes on the top. Other than that, this is like the only thing touching the ground. Everything else, this whole area from directly behind the ball to, you know, only the very outside of my feet are touching. So these were comfortable, but I was like, let me go with the medium arch. So let's do a little, let's put these up to each other. And I'm sure Nix has already done this in they have their own YouTube channel. They do a great job of informing their customers on every bit of their products. So, okay. It's kind of hard to tell because this actually looks like, and I'll get the tape measure here in a sec, but it actually looks like the same type of heel height, very similar in heel height. However, this is a thicker rubber from the lug sole versus the Vibram V-bar sole and whatever heel that quabwog heel, whatever that, quabwog. Anyhow, this rubber is a little bit thicker than that rubber. So let's measure. Have 1 3/4 inch height from the very bottom of the lug to the very top of that heel shelf. And I have about 1 inch and a heavy 13/16, almost 1 7/8 inches on this heel height. From the bottom of the rubber to the top of that heel shelf. You guys see that? And then let's do a little measurement here. We have 11/16 from the bottom of the rubber to the very top of that leather midsole. Not the welt, not the stitch down welt, but the actual midsole. 11/16, almost 3/4 inch. Over here we have, let me just start from the one. That's right around 1/2 inch, right at 1/2 inch. So it is substantially higher in comparison from the front of the foot to the back. And another thing I noticed, which might be because of the break-in, it looks like this toe box of the Urban Logger is a little bit, just a slightly more bulbous than the Robert toe box. So who knows, maybe once this breaks in, I'll get some more bulbousity breaking in. Look at me making up words on the fly. Okay. So this was just a quick unboxing. I don't know, I'm not going to do it on foot. That's going to be a lot of boring lace up and all that other shit. There's other guys doing on feet with Nix, but really pleased with these. If you guys want to see more content on these, check out my Instagram at Ainge Noble Exchange. And other than that, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching the video all the way through. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't think I've seen any other brown wax flesh Roberts with an 8-inch shaft, line collar, and pull tab with the medium arch, 55 arch last. So yeah, man, that's it, guys. Take care. Love you. Hey guys, one last thing. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Grant over at Nix Boots, Nix Handmade Boots on Instagram. He's always been a pleasure to talk to and more than happy to answer any questions. So don't ever hesitate to reach out to them on their Instagram page via DM. They will always reply to any questions you have. Great customer service, and I highly recommend Nix Handmade Boots. Have a good one, guys.